What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lonnie from FlightSim Gaming. Today we are doing a flight with Atlantic Airways. We are flying from Faroe Islands to Billund, Denmark. This is a railroad flight flown by Atlantic Airways. It's actually a regular route for them. There's a few regular routes. I believe they go to Reykjavik, Iceland as well, and then there's some seasonal routes. But we are going to Billund, Denmark. For those wondering, Billund, where did you get that scenery from? Well, you got to buy it at the marketplace. I forget who the devs are. I'll put the scenery description down below. But you have to buy the scenery from the marketplace. It's actually a pretty decent scenery. You can't even complain. Just if you guys want to fly into Denmark, it's another spot for you to go to. You can also fly this route if you want, or you can go back, fly from Billund to the Faroe Islands. But yeah, I'll put the scenery description down below. We'll give shout out to the devs there. This scenery here in the Faroe Islands is done by MK Studios. In my humble personal opinion, I believe that this scenery has been left untouched, and they need to sort of remodel it, maybe add some better textures. It has not been updated from what I can see. The scenery was put out 2 years ago, and it's much overdue for an update. It doesn't look like regular MK Studios stuff. Like if you look at this building here and, the garage doors, it just doesn't look, the building itself, the terminal looks pretty nice, but, everything else. So maybe they can do an update with the rest of the island. This is a small island, or at least do the surrounding area, maybe make the mountains look a little bit less choppy. And even like the tower here, you can see the windows. The windows look a little weird. But anyway, we're here. We're the Fenix once again. We are flying with the Airbus Thrustmaster Sidestick. Hopefully we're not going to butcher our landing like the last one. But anyway, let's jump inside the aircraft. This livery you can find from the Fenix livery installer. This is not from FlightSim.to. Let's come over to the FB here. This flight is about an hour and 42 minutes, hour and 45 minutes long. Shouldn't take us too long. We'll go ahead and import our stuff there. Did it import it? Yes, it did. Okay, we'll come over to the load aircraft. We'll load it instantly.
Passengers boarding starting.
Come over to the MiG-2 here. Let's get it all configured so we can get on out of here. Init requests. Very windy coming into the Faroe Islands. Faroe Line 470 is the call sign. Faroe Line is the call sign. We have a cost index of 40, and we are climbing up to 37,000 feet. Fantastic. Come over to the fuel and weight tab. We got 59.8, 31.1. 59.8, 31.1. Blocked fuel is 7.6.
How are you? I'm doing good.
Fantastic. We are departing off the runway 30. We are going to be on the Odeva to Papa RNAV departure. In Billund, we are expecting the ILS Zulu 27 approach. There is no star. We'll go ahead and insert that. We are going to get rid of a waypoint here.
Thank you.
Rover. We don't need Rover. And it is radar vectors. Looks like to the final approach there. Well, that looks like it's all fantastico. Get the rest of the aircraft loaded. This is not SOP procedures. This is just what I like to do. Perf tab. We are going to be doing a flaps 2 departure as long as I'm allowed to. It's a short runway. 128, 35, and 36. Trans out 7,500 feet here. down, so it's flaps 2 down 0.1. And flex is 47.
Passenger's bus is coming.
We'll actually set, actually we can't set the, obviously we cannot set this yet because we don't have any power, but we'll do that momentarily. Let's load up our Navigraph charts. Stand by.
Passengers boarding starting.
They want me to open up a door, and it opened up itself. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Navigraph, bam. Okay, we are departing off, so as you can see, we are at stand 5, so we're the real-world aircraft last, I guess, boarded from and departed from. It's going to be a short taxi, but we'll get into that later. Here is our departure here, runway heading, and then it's an RNAV arrival. There is no altitude restraint, but there are speed restraints. As you can see at Victor Golf 750, there's a speed restraint, max 230 knots. We'll make sure not to go past that. And initial climb clearance is by ATC. We're going to go right up to 37,000 feet. Trans-alt up top, 7,500 feet. And the weather, 240 at 8 knots. Visibility is pretty clear. It's 21 degrees. Altimeter 3030. Let's close that. Altimeter 3030. Left and right. Do this little guy as well. And we'll go up to 37,000. Not bad. Company message. Clear the hose. Don't forget, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying the content, smash down a thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Almost at 700 subs on the channel. Almost there. Channel moving in a great direction. I just want to thank everybody who comes out to support the channel. I can see some of the South American flights don't get such a great I guess, viewing as some of my other flights do. A lot of y'all love the flights in North America, more like the United States, and definitely the European flights are a big hit on this channel. So, 5 passengers left. Come on, Grandma, get in the aircraft. Let's go. Grandma's holding us up. And that should be it. Just waiting for the ding. Boarding completed. Get the fuel pumps on. Beacon light can come on. APU bleed. We are bleeding. We're waiting for the IR to align, and then we will request pushback. Perfect. GSX, prepare for a pushback.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Bypass pin is inserted. We're gonna go nose left, tail right.
Locking gear. Release parking brakes. Commencing
Brake
push.
is disengaged. We'll go ahead and start up
Start at
engine number 1 and 2. Atlantic Airways has recently started flying to North America. It's kind of how I chose this sort of flight. I believe it was on Just Planes on YouTube. I seen a Atlantic Airways flight from New York Stewart International to the Faroe Islands, which I thought was pretty cool. Kind of like how, you know, I guess Play Airlines operates there as well. No word of Atlantic Airways flying to Canada yet, but yeah, they're flying. I think it's the Neos.
Set parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
And we have 2 good engines. APU is coming off. We'll go ahead and flaps 2. Arm the speed brakes. Engine start switch is going to the norm position. So adjust our trim so it's down 0.1. Somewhere there. But yeah, pretty cool. You can fly to the Faroe Islands from New York.
Disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
It's
Left
also a
is clear.
seasonal flight.
Right is clear.
Brightness is all the way up. Okay. Auto brake. We're braking max and takeoff config. Takeoff config is a good. Sting the cabin, tell them let's go. Bypass pin is in hand. We're waiting for the thumbs up so we don't get screamed at. Fantastic. Come over here. We'll look at the Navigraph taxi charts here. Basic taxi routing. There's only pretty much one taxiway here. We're going to go ahead and make a left, and then we're going to get onto the runway, make another left. We're going to backtrack runway 30. We're going to do a spin-a-rooney, line up, and we are getting out of here. That is what we have planned. I cannot guarantee that that's going to happen. Let's get out of here. Very slopey runway. Landing on 30, you can almost butter your landing. I mean, that's pretty much standard for any sloped runway. It's not a true landing rate monitor when you're landing on sloped runways. But it is very sloped. You're going to see once we start barreling down the runway here as we backtrack. Definitely a cool approach coming in. We'll see if we'll do a maybe we'll do a return flight. I'm not sure. I'm not banking on it, but or maybe we'll definitely we'll come back here another day. We'll maybe fly from Reykjavik or something. or Copenhagen. That's another regular route. Copenhagen, Billund, and Reykjavik, I believe. And then they hit up certain parts of the UK. They hit up certain parts of Spain. I was having a texture problem with this aircraft on my practice flight. The nose of the aircraft would turn to a black color, so we'll see what happens. Don't need to have any throttle input. We're going to be flying down this runway. Definitely, this part of the world needs some photogrammetry update. Not digging the weird textures here on the mountains. Let's get the brakes out. Brakes are very sensitive in this aircraft. Again, we're flying with the Thrustmaster Airbus side stick, the TCA side stick. Still learning it. It's definitely different from what I was using, but I don't see myself turning back. Cannot turn away from the side stick. Should be an interesting departure. It's going to be a nasty crosswind. I think it showed 13 knots from the left. You can see the windsock there is blowing from our right. This is a little tricky. Beauty. Okay, let's come upstairs here. Let's get the rest of our lights on. Bang, bang. And those lights are going over to takeoff. We'll throw on the wing light. Just because. Throttle's up 50%. Flex set. SRS auto blue. I can already feel that wind. She's coming from our left. Maintain center line as best as we can. Maintain that center line. There we go. 11 knots. And we are V1. And rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear is going up, and we'll get our rudders back in, and we'll pitch for 15 degrees because we are profesh. Go ahead and start that left-hand turn. And we'll go flaps 1. And thrust climb is set. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Speed is increasing. We are almost at the flaps up speed. Got some cloud layer here. We don't need to worry about anti-ice. Flaps up. Ground spoilers are disarmed. Still hand flying it. Beautiful departure out of the Faroe Islands. And we'll go ahead and start our left-hand turn. Can't see. Runway lights, everything lights is coming out. No textures on the nose there of the aircraft like I was getting. And we'll follow flight directors. .7,500 feet is our trans out. Still hand flying. .7,500 feet is in. Bam. Bam. Standard pressure is set. It's a long turn, ladies and gents. Long turn. Sitting here at max 230 on the speed until I think it's Victor Golf 750, 750. Wing lights and landing lights are off. We're passing 10,000 feet. Keep the seatbelt lights on. As we fly over top of the Faroe Islands. Beautiful departure on out. Speed will be increasing momentarily. And there we have it, ladies and gents. Autopilot is on. Not the hardest departure out of here. Cannot see the airport. I think we're right there. But, very nice, very nice. Couldn't be happier with that. We'll keep the seatbelt lights on for the time being. Climbing up to 37,000 feet. Not sure why we're getting a message there. We're expecting to pass over Billund at 16:48 Zulu, so we're looking about an hour and a half. And what I'll do is I'll monitor this flight. And I'll catch y'all on the descent into Billund, Denmark. Should be fun, ladies and gents. Peace! Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the second half of the video. We are currently on the descent into Billund, Denmark. We are expecting the ILS Zulu for runway 27 in Billund. And we'll open up the charts here and have a look at kind of what we're doing. This is, so there's no arrival into Billund. As you can see, if you go over to your charts, there is no arrival, so we are strictly descending down for the ILS capture for runway 27. The winds are 240 at 8 knots, visibility 10,000 or greater. It's 19 degrees. Altimeter 3030 or QNH 1026 into Billund. Coming up on 17,000 feet. Aircraft slowing down now, or will be slowing down momentarily. We'll get the speed brakes out. So far, been a good flight, no complaints. I'm not sure when the aircraft, I think it's just before we hit Jalba, the aircraft should start slowing down to 250. I'll get it doing that right now. We don't want to be too fast on the approach, so. Transalt is 3,000 feet here in Denmark. I do have the MiG set up for the arrival, so the QNH 3030, or I could just go QNH 1026. 19 degrees, not 21. The winds are 240 at 8. Minimums 444. And that's that is what the approach looks like. We are well above our VNAV here. We're going to get the aircraft down to 250, and we'll hold the speed. There, and we want to come in nicely. We don't want to be over speeding as we come over top of the airport. The airport is, I believe, right here. We're going to fly directly above it, and it is radar vectors to final, but we are going to fly directly above it and then get ourselves situated for the approach. Speed brakes are still out. So we get the VNAV back on track. Beautiful day here in Billund. Sort of a new airport for me. I didn't even know it existed. You know, as I try to find certain flights to do around the world, I try to shy away from some of the more common flights that a lot of these streamers already do. You know, you got Captain Canada. That guy, I feel like, flies, you know, to the same airport pretty often. So Same with Chewy. So Billund, I haven't seen a flight here yet, so should be pretty nice. I'll put the scenery description down below as well. Cannot purchase the scenery other than from the marketplace in the simulator. Coming up on 10,000. Still showing us relatively high up on the VNAV. That's okay. If I have to vector ourselves out, well, VNAV is coming back right now, so no complaints there. 10,000 feet. Landing lights, wing lights coming on. Seatbelt lights already on. Setting down to 2,000. We're going to go ahead and activate the approach phase as well. And we'll go managed speed. We are doing a flaps full landing. There's the airport there. It should be a pretty nice approach. I wonder if this is maybe the old airport. I'm not sure. Flying over top of the airport, we got a little bit of a performance blip there. If I recall, the airport performance is actually relatively good, so I don't know kind of what's going on there, but anyway, we're here. We'll get that speed back, nice. 210 knots will be set. Do have a gate. If I pull up my flight radar info here, we are going gate 37. To verify, we'll make sure nav frequency 110.7 is set. 110.7 is set. Very nice. See some windmills down here. One thing I'm going to start, I guess, doing, as you can see this approach here, it kind of does like a hairpin. But the real world flight, if I look at the actual flight path, it was pretty much vectors to Loksa and then on in. So Looks like we're going to come in and cap the Loke at Elrit, so... Once we start our turn, I'll go ahead and introduce the first stage of flaps. Landing system, by the way, should be on below 10,000. Flaps 1. Arm the speed brakes as well. 12 miles out. And we'll verify missed approach altitude. It says climb on 264 to 2000, contact ATC. So we're going to go up 2,000 on the missed approach. Transalta is coming up. Go ahead and hit the localizer and approach modes. 3,000 feet is in 3030. 3030. Maintain the speed. Laps 2. Keep 170 in. There's Loke. Get the rest of our lights on. We'll line up beautifully. 5 miles out. We'll go ahead, managed mode. Gear coming down. Laps 3. And we'll go flaps full. Okay, we got gear down, 3 green. Flaps are full, ground spoilers are armed. We got all of our signs on. 1,300 feet above runway threshold, so we'll just let the aircraft do its thing. Got a beautiful, almost a beautiful headwind coming from in front of us, 12 knots.
1,000.
gonna go ahead and take the controls. Two whites, two reds on the PAPs. I can see them. Glide slope is looking good. Getting a little bent out of shape there. Let's get her back down. Let's get those two whites, two reds. Glide slope and Pappies are disagreeing. We're going to ride out the Pappies here.
100 above. Minimum.
Glide slope.
Continue.
Glide slope.
Disregard.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Goes down gently, reverse out. $70 knots. Ladies and gents, welcome to Billund, Denmark. Interesting approach there. Interesting approach. So the glide slope and Pappies do not like each other. They disagreed. And I think we're going to vacate off to the right. Looks like we got some ground traffic here. Bit of an incline, that's okay. Going to gate 37. Not sure what happened there, but anyway. We're going in all the way almost to the end. Some static aircraft here, that's pretty cool. I think the brakes sort of locked up there. That was not intentional by any means. Pretty detailed looking terminal. Performance taking a hit right now, 36, 34 FPS. We're looking for a gate 37. Gate 37. Swing her over. Let's see how close we can get. We'll leave it right there. Come up top. APU bleed is on. We'll go ahead and kill the engines. Seatbelt signs are going out, ladies and gents. Billund, Denmark, we're here.
The boarding requested.
Let's see if the jetway is going to attach. Probably not. Once again, we don't have jetways attaching. That sucks. One thing I got to do is operate jetways and then click deboarding. So we'll disregard that. We'll pretend it's attached. Anyway, there we have it, ladies and gents. Atlantic Airways from the Faroe Islands to Billund, Denmark is in the books. I'll have to go back and check what my landing rate was on that. It felt firm, but we'll see. Hope you enjoyed the video, ladies and gents, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace!